What's up, guys? I hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this YouTube video, we will be looking at exercise 23 of our Python exercise tutorial series. Without any further ado, let's get to it. Okay, we have exercise 23. Develop a Python program that will determine the name of a shape from its number of sides. Read the number of sides as an integer from the user and then report the appropriate name as part of a meaningful message. Your program should support shapes with anywhere from 3 up to and including 10 sides. If a number of sides outside of this range is entered, then your program should display an appropriate error message. Okay, guys, so looking at this question, we see that it's very interesting. They want us to have a program where the user will enter an integer value, a number, and that number is going to be representing the number of sides. And using some decision making in our program, we should be able to tell the user what shape that is, only if it falls between the range of 3 and 10. And this program is inclusive of 3 and 10. Also, they specifically told us that, yeah, see, they specifically basically mentioned that if a number outside the range of 3 and 10 is entered, we need to tell the user, you know, something, an appropriate error message should be displayed. Like, we'll tell the user, unfortunately, this number is not supported by the program, and so on. So, with that, let's start coding this program and we'll talk about it as we go along. So, first things first, right? I will actually proceed to set up an input prompt, or let's call this number sides. Yes, int input, and we'll request the user, please enter the number of sides. That's good. Now we may actually proceed to create a variable called name, and we'll set it to be equal to an empty string. Okay, now this is now the next portion, which is actually our decision making to determine what shape are we working with, that kind of thing. So first things first, we need to ensure that we've catered from 3 and including 3 up to 10 and including 10. So let's do if number sides is equals to 3, then we'll set name is equals to triangle. Elif number sides is equals to 4, we can set name is equals to Now, let's think about it, right? We know that there are several shapes that actually have four sides, the rhombus, the rectangle, the square, and so on. So, what we can do in the situation or event of four sides is we can just call the shape a quadrilateral. That's good. It will be much more, I think, versatile. It would make the program much more versatile. So, if number sides is equals to 5, let's set name to this is a pentagon. A shape that has 5 sides is called a pentagon. If number sides is equals to 6, let's go ahead and set this to hexagon. If number sides is equals to 7, name would then be heptagon. Heptagon, that's good. If number sides is equals to 8, let's go ahead and set name to be equals to octagon. If number sides is equals to 9, this is an interesting one. So a shape that has 9 sides is actually called a nonagon, Nonagon. Finally, if number sides is equals to 10, name is equals to, this is also interesting, a shape that has 10 sides is called a decagon. Okay, now that concludes the portion of if elifs. So now, after those if elifs have been checked, let's proceed to set up another decision making if statement, and we're going to check if name is equals to that blank string. Okay, and if the name is equals to that blank string, we'll say this number of sides is not supported by this program. That's good. Else or otherwise, we are going to tell the user print this shape is a comma, and we'll fill in our name. Okay, so guys, before we actually proceed to run this program, let's talk a bit about what has been done here. So the first thing I should tell you is that there are several ways to go about doing this problem, right? There are several different solutions. You probably coded it according to how you interpreted or understood it. I'm just here to give you a guideline on what was required and one of the possible ways to go about solving the problem. Okay, so essentially what we did is we set up a variable, right? This variable was an input prompt that would grab input from the user. We prompt the user by saying, please enter the number of sides. That's good. The user knows, they'll enter an integer to represent the number of sides. Next, we set up a variable called name, which is representing the name of our shape, of that shape. Okay. Now, this is where the interesting bits come into play in our if-elif ladder. So you see, we proceed to check if number of sides is equals to 3, name is that. Elif number sides equals 4, name is that, and so on. We do this for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 sides. Thing is, in each of these if elifs, we specifically check to see if the number of sides that was entered by the user matches any one of these, then the name variable would be appropriately set to that specific shape depending on what number matched. Okay, I do hope this makes sense to you. Now, at the end, after all of these if elifs have been, executed, we have set up a simple if else statement, and this if else statement is simply checking now to see if the name of the shape, which as we know, if this name variable is still equal to a blank string, it's going to print this number of sides is not supported by this program. And that makes sense because we've only catered for a name change for 3 up to 10 sides, which means if the user entered 30, for example, it does not match any of these if-elif statements, and therefore name would still be a blank string. And therefore, if the user enters 30, name would be a blank string and the number of sides is not supported. Therefore, this statement would be printed to the user. Okay? Otherwise, or else, it means that the name variable has undergone some change, according to the number of sides, and that's when this else statement would execute. I do hope this makes sense to you. So now let us proceed to actually run the script. Please enter the number of sides. Let's say, for argument's sake, we enter 30 and press enter, and see the program tells us this number of sides is not supported by this program. Now let's run the program again. Maybe this time we can enter 9. Excellent. The program tells us this shape is a nonagon. Let's go again. Maybe this time we enter 1. This number of sides is not supported by this program. So, brilliant, the program works well. It is a very interesting program. You can actually go ahead and tweak this program to be much more interesting, cater for more sides or shapes that have more sides. And yeah, it will make the program very versatile and much more interesting because, how often do we actually use or come across decagon, nonagon, and so on? So, with that, I do hope you found the video interesting and you have much more experience in the Python programming language. I thank you for staying till the end of the video and good luck with your work, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.